Ever wondered what life was really like aboard the Titanic before disaster struck? Imagine it, the elegance, the luxury, and the everyday lives of passengers who had no idea what fate awaited them. Today we're diving deep into 15 rare, hauntingly beautiful photos that capture the Titanic as a vibrant world of its own. From opulent dining rooms to ordinary moments on deck, these photos tell a story of floating dream moments just before history took its tragic turn. Stick around, because these images will give you an intimate look like never before. 15 historical photos depicting life on the Titanic before tragedy struck. Number 1. Simplistic yet satisfying dining aboard the Titanic. Picture this. A bustling dining hall filled with third-class passengers, not adorned with fine linens or crystal chandeliers, but filled with warm conversations and hearty meals. Here, simplicity met satisfaction. Imagine roast beef with rich gravy, boiled potatoes, and a side of corn, the kind of food that fills the soul as much as the stomach. For dessert, a plum pudding, modest yet comforting. Though they lacked the luxury of the first class, these passengers enjoyed wholesome meals that provided a true sense of home on the sea. Number 2. The Titanic Gym. Edwardian fitness in full attire. Yes, you heard that right, the Titanic had a gym. While today's cruise ships boast sprawling fitness centers, the Titanic featured one of the first seaborne gyms, dedicated to the Edwardian elite. Imagine working up a sweat on a stationary bike, or riding a mechanical saddle, dressed in full Edwardian attire. These early workout machines were primitive by today's standards, but they were revolutionary at the time. Both men and women of first class were welcome, proving that fitness and luxury were already intertwined in the early 1900s. Number 3. Elegance and tragedies of Titanic's voyages. Forget about modern cruise chaos. The Titanic was an emblem of elegance and tranquility. Its passengers, young and old, were invited into a world of sophistication. Entertainment meant shuffleboard and quiet, refined activities, a stark contrast to today's lively cruises. Among them was 17-year-old Jack Thayer, whose journey would end in survival, but at the heart-wrenching cost of watching his mother and the ship's passengers face icy waters. The Titanic wasn't just a ship, it was a floating world where elegance and tragedy coexisted. Number 4. Literary luxuries. The Titanic's reading room. Imagine stepping into a lush reading room filled with plush furniture and an air of refinement, a retreat where first-class passengers escaped to read in silence. This wasn't your ordinary library. It was a sanctuary of privilege, available only to those at the top. Men and women experienced it differently, reflecting the era's social dynamics, but both found it a place of quietude. There were no organizational systems, just a curated selection of books for leisurely reading, underscoring the Titanic's commitment to offering comfort beyond the imagination. Number 5. First-class accommodations. Luxury like no other. Think of the finest suite you've ever seen, and now imagine it aboard a ship. The first-class cabins on the Titanic were nothing short of palatial. These rooms weren't just cabins, they were entire suites with multiple bedrooms, fireplaces, and even ocean view sitting areas, designed in styles like French Louis XVI. With no luggage limits, these rooms were packed with families, maids, and wardrobes fit for royalty. The first-class passengers truly sailed in opulence, marking a high point in the history of luxury travel. Number 6. Turkish baths on the Titanic. Relaxation redefined. A Turkish bath on the high seas? That's right. The Titanic offered this exclusive experience to its wealthiest passengers. Imagine the relaxation of a Turkish bath, an amenity not even found on most luxury ships of that time. After a lavish 13-course dinner, first-class passengers could unwind in this serene retreat for a small fee of 4 shillings, about $25 today. Reserved only for the elite, this bath experience symbolized the grandeur and exclusivity of life aboard the Titanic. Number 7. A tale of two classes, comparing first and second-class amenities. Even the second-class passengers enjoyed a taste of luxury, with access to smoking rooms and libraries. though they always knew their place in the hierarchy. For them, first-class spaces were off-limits, much like the exclusive airport lounges of today. Second-class passengers had fewer privileges, but they still enjoyed shared lounges and smoking rooms. This subtle division revealed how social ranks were reinforced on the Titanic, mirroring the exclusivity we still see in modern travel. Number 8. Unveiling the true story of third-class travel. Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Titanic might have been lucky to get his ticket, but in reality, a third-class ticket was no small investment. With prices equivalent to $1,000 today, it was an expense that took months of savings for the average worker. Third-class passengers weren't destitute, but represented the working class, making their journey all the more meaningful. Each ticket was a tangible hope for a brighter future in America, dispelling the myth of third-class poverty aboard the Titanic. Number 9. The surge of immigrants aboard the Titanic. The lower decks of the Titanic teemed with the hope and dreams of 709 immigrants from places like Ireland, Sweden, and Finland. These third-class passengers, eager for a new life in America, represented the heart of the Titanic's passenger list. Unlike most ships of that era, the Titanic provided meals and some onboard activities, though life was far from easy. Packed into cabins below the noise and limited to 2 bathrooms shared by over 350 people, these immigrants sacrificed comfort for the dream of opportunity. Number 10. The joys of third-class travel. Despite their cramped quarters, the Titanic's third-class passengers embraced their journey with a zest that made the experience feel like a family vacation. Though today's cruise cabins seem luxurious by comparison, these passengers were thrilled to be part of such an opulent voyage. They made the most of every moment, joining social gatherings and exploring the ship's grandeur. Their camaraderie and excitement painted a vibrant picture of third-class life, reminding us that joy can flourish even in modest settings. Number 11. The quest for opulence at sea. Titanic versus Mauretania. In the early 20th century, luxury travel meant ships like the Titanic and the RMS Mauretania, 2 giants in a race to redefine opulence at sea. The Titanic's reputation surpassed that of her contemporaries, showcasing unmatched elegance and grandeur. The intense competition between White Star Line and Cunard to build the grandest and fastest ships culminated in the Titanic's maiden voyage, a voyage meant to embody the peak of oceanic luxury, but ending in tragedy that immortalized its name. Number 12. Design inspiration behind the Titanic. The Titanic wasn't just any ship, it was the product of intense rivalry and inspiration. The White Star Line's Titanic drew heavily from Cunard Mauretania, incorporating luxurious smoking lounges and lounges that mirrored social norms of the time. Men gathered here not just to smoke, but to discuss politics, play games, and bond, a slice of high society taken to sea. This design revealed the Edwardian era's unique blend of exclusivity and camaraderie. Number 13. The unique allure of Titanic's Olympic-sized pool. Imagine being one of the few to enjoy an Olympic-sized swimming pool aboard a ship in 1912. The Titanic's pool, the largest of its kind at the time, was a marvel that added a layer of joy to the voyage. After visiting the luxurious Turkish baths, passengers could relax by the pool, mingling and playing games. Access may have been limited, but one can picture the delight this feature brought, adding another dimension to the Titanic's allure. Number 14. Beverages on the Titanic, a toast to high society. Dining on the Titanic meant more than just eating. It was an experience, complete with a fine selection of drinks. Excavations on the Titanic's wreckage have revealed corked champagne bottles, specifically from Mohd and Shandon and Heidsieck & Company, highlighting the luxury provided to passengers. After a sumptuous 13-course meal, guests could savor a glass of bubbly or enjoy a Tom Collins or Robert Burns cocktail. These drinks weren't mere refreshments, they were symbols of sophistication aboard the Titanic. Number 15. Famous individuals who narrowly missed the Titanic voyage. Some of the era's most influential figures nearly boarded the Titanic, including chocolate mogul Milton Hershey, who had already purchased a ticket but chose another ship days before departure. He wasn't alone. J.P. Morgan and Alfred Gwynne Vanderbilt also had plans to board but changed them, sparing themselves from the tragedy. Those close calls underscore the unpredictable twists of fate and the thin line between life and death that haunted the Titanic's legacy. Remember, history is filled with incredible stories just waiting to be uncovered. From luxurious Turkish baths to modest third-class cabins brimming with hope, every part of the Titanic's story leaves us with a mix of awe and wonder, reminding us how fleeting, even fragile, life can be. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more fascinating stories from history's greatest moments. And which part of Titanic's story surprised you the most? Was it the Edwardian fitness routines, the immigrants' dreams of a new life, or maybe the famous faces that narrowly escaped fate? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.